Hey guys, this is Karan here. I live in Saudi Arabia studying 10th grade in Yambu International School. So today our topic, the exciting topic is diseases caused by viruses. Now we talked about viruses in our previous video, so let's go ahead and discuss about disease that is caused by those kind of viruses that we talked about. Now disease caused by viruses occurs because the virus invades the living cell which produces inside of it and then destroys the cell. Remember I showed you the diagrams and where the virus, the host cell explodes and the virus spread out, right? So here are some of the diseases that is caused by the viruses such as AIDS, mumps, yellow fever, smallpox, polio, the common cold, influenza, and rabies. Okay, now you might ask that is there any way to prevent it? Any way to prevent these diseases? Well, yes, a vaccine is an injection of weakened or killed viruses. So killed viruses or weakened viruses are in a vaccine and it's injected in our body to kill the viruses that can cause this diseases, and it prevents from growing. Okay, so how does that vaccine actually work? That's what we are talking about. So when the virus is injected into a human cell identifies the virus and makes the chemical to kill the virus. When they come into contact with the virus, previously when the person comes into contact with the virus, the body already has its defense waiting and accurately kills off the viruses before an infection occurs. So what does that mean? Well, it means that they basically think when they inject it into your body, into the human, what it does is basically your cell recognizes how to kill that virus, and then it makes a chemical. You can think of it makes a food kind of substance. So when it comes back in, a known substance at any time, it only has a formula to create it. So it just creates that formula and destroys it. That's pretty much it. Okay, so that's how it actually works. Now there's so many things that we are going to talk about, okay, such as the bacteria. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the bacteria now after talking to about bacteria, we'll move on to different kingdoms of living things. Okay, we'll move on to kingdoms separately. Now the first thing is bacteria. Okay, now bacteria are divided into two kingdoms, eubacteria and archaebacteria. So all bacteria are prokaryotic. If an organism is prokaryotic, it must have bacteria. All types of organisms such as fungi, protists, plants, animal are not prokaryotic, they are eukaryotic. And if you guys don't know what prokaryotic is, it's basically a cell that doesn't have a nucleus in it. So a cell without a nucleus is called a prokaryotic cell. A cell with a nucleus is called eukaryotic. Okay, like I said, fungi, protists, plants, and animals have nucleus in a cell, so they are known to be eukaryotic cells. Okay, now all bacteria are unicellular. Okay, it's prokaryotic, unicellular. Okay, now all bacteria are unicellular, which basically means you will not be able to see a single bacterial cell unless you use a microscope. Okay, and if you want to see a clear version of that cell, you might want to use electron microscope, like I told you guys before in the previous video. Now bacteria can either be heterotrophs or autotrophs. Now heterotrophs are basically like us, human beings. We depend on plants somehow to make to fulfill our desire, that is to eat something, some kind of substance, right? Autotrophs are like plants. They make their own food. Okay, they don't need anyone. They can survive by themselves. Well, we do need plants in order to survive, because we need to eat. We can't make our own food without plants. So now that we are done talking about, okay, so we told the difference between autotrophs and heterotrophs. Let me just try. Let's move on to each and every kingdom separately. That is eubacteria and archaebacteria. Okay? So let's go ahead and move on to that. So the next thing that comes up is eubacteria. Now, eubacteria is in one kingdom of bacteria. So there's two kingdoms of bacteria, which one is eubacteria and the other one is what we'll be talking about after we are done with this. Okay? So let's just keep that as suspense right now. So eubacteria is much larger in how many species are in its group compared to archaebacteria. Ooh, suspense is revealed. So archaebacteria is the second kingdom of bacteria. So compared to the archaebacteria, the cell wall of eubacteria is composed of carbohydrates and lipids. Many of them have ability to photosynthesize. But here is where most of the people get confused. It says many of eubacteria have ability to photosynthesize. That means they can make their own food. But it says many of them, not all of them, just few of them. Okay, you can think it of that way. Now, what photosynthesis does is basically it captures sunlight and changes it into usable energy. Okay, that's basically it. Eubacteria. So we talked about eubacteria. Now it's archaebacteria. Okay, now what is archaebacteria? Well, archaebacteria are different from eubacteria. They're completely different. Okay, we can say they're unique. Okay, from eubacteria in the structure of the cell wall. Archaebacteria do not have carbohydrates and some of the lipids, okay, in the cell wall as eubacteria does. They also have different types of ribosomes. They have the ability to live under harsh climates. Okay, now harsh environments is an area where the most life cannot survive due to the extreme chemical temperatures and absence of sunlight. So what it basically means is that bacteria cannot be survived into a harsh condition where there is a lots of temperature, where there is absence of sunlight. Okay, and we'll talk about that in our next video, which basically tells us the effects of bacteria, what are the good effects of it and what are the bad effects of it, and how you can remove bacteria from our body. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a like, comment, and subscribe if you really enjoyed it, and share my videos with your friends or family. Thank you for watching.